87K BTC. This market is under a little bit of pressure leading into the much talked about crypto summit. So what is the plan now? What are we going to do? Is this a sell the news event? Are we going to get one more pump out of this thing? So guys, I've got a trading plan for you. We're going to talk altcoins. I'm going to give you shorts. I'm going to give you longs. We're going to make sure that you are teed up and looked after for this weekend. So we got so much to talk about here on Crypto Live. It's Friday. Let's get right into it. And remember, as always, you hit that like, you hit that subscribe, and you hit the notification because that tells you when we are coming on Crypto Live. And you might notice me from Banter Plus. That is my normal home, Monday to Friday. I'm bringing you all this type of trading content and occasionally on Crypto Live. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe, and we'll see you at Banter Plus. And today I've got a special guest. I brought in the gun from Chart Hackers. He's here. He's going to tee us up for the weekend. Longing or shorting or mixing? What do we got?
I mean, I can mix. I can give you whatever you want.
What do you want? Okay, he's going to tell us. Likes and do the likes for the man. And then we've got James in the house. We're talking market news. We're talking the stuff that keeps you on the edge of your seat every 20 minutes.
It's endless today. Endless. Man.
It's absolute pain and suffering out there at the moment. Unless you're a scalper and you're trading short time frames, you must be having the time of your lives. But if you are looking for decent sized moves out of this market, well, it can get a little bit frustrating. So let's jump into Banter Bubbles. Let's get a picture as to what is going on right now. PMG George, he's not happy with the current situation there. What is that comment there? He's not happy. He says he hates the US market opening. Absolute rinser. One day we're going to move back to the times when the US opens and they pump us. So it's coming, okay? Let Uncle Donald finish all this bullshit. When he's finished, we're gonna get that pumpage back. So Banter Bubbles, I think it's safe to say disgusting. ENA, Dave, you got ENA, right? I think that's a little bit of a banger. It's one of the few green ones out there at the moment, but everything else, rinsage. Now, we're gonna talk about why there was a little bit of extra rinsage in the last 24 hours, and you guys must be pretty confused at the moment, because you're looking at things saying, but he announced the strategic reserve. Why not pump? Okay, that's pretty much the question out there. So we're going to dial into that and try and understand why the market was so unhappy with what Uncle Donald had to say. So blood on the streets, I think that's a fair comment as well. But basically, dog shit everywhere. I think that's the safest way to explain what we are looking at the moment. So let's go into BTC here on the 2 hour. Let's try and just get a picture as to what these guys are doing to us. Look at this chop. Now, this is obviously translating heavily into a lot of these altcoins as well. But every day, obviously, in the mornings when I get in front of my Mac, I drop levels for the hackers, guys, and we look at a couple of important zones. And interestingly, we've hit 2 absolute bangers here today. Now, these were 2 big resistance zones, 91, 166. That is our resistance now on BTC. You can see we've had 2 taps there and 2 beautiful rejections from that zone. So now, what do we look for? So if we keep it super simple here on the 2 hour, there's a couple of things that we can pay attention to. There may be an interim bounce over here. Okay, potentially there could be something here, 86,700. You can see there's a little bit of action. But what am I interested in now? If we do get a little bit more pressure, I like to see something in this region here. So the reason I like this, it's our 618, it's our hacker zone just under as well. It will be a full wick fill for us. It will be a horizontal tap, and it will also be our VWAP. And I think that was our September VWAP. So there's a lot going on here for me from 85,700 just into this trend at 84,800. So a nice juicy zone here. And that'll also keep our rising trend in place. So a little bit of confluence there for us. And perhaps they will give us a little bit of pumpage off that type of zone. So if we have to go a little bit lower, I just want to highlight, we do have some wicks to the downside. And this beautiful blue line over here is our 200-day moving average. And that often acts as a degree of support or resistance. So 82,800 is probably your next level that you want to go to. So that is pretty much a wrap of where we are in the next couple of hours on BTC. Now we're going to have a super volatile, probably a volatile weekend. Now the summit is starting in a couple of hours. We're going to confirm in a sec what time it starts. And there's probably going to be something that's going to pump it. Maybe the market's going to be disappointed afterwards. We're going to speak to James and Dave about it now and get a feel for what they have to say. But in terms of the 24-hour liquidations, we can see 24 hours, we've done $580 million in liquidations. Now, 4 days ago, they did $1 billion. Then they were nice. They did 300. Then they did 250. And now we're back at the 580. So the chop continues. And everybody looking for big moves is feeling a little bit of pain. So fear and greed, 34. So, I mean, we're moving on up. People are getting less scared at the moment. And remember, we like to long from 16, 18, 20. Those are typically the bullish zones for us. Now we're sort of moving higher slightly. So maybe the market is starting to get a little bit more comfortable. Now, in terms of trading chop, I just love this. And it's very important to understand. I mean, we got Johnny Depp here and also talking about trading chop and round trips.
You're down 95%. Have you ever considered selling?
No, I can't. It's a no.
You're down 95%. Have you ever considered selling?
Who enjoys this? Who enjoys this type of stuff?
No, I can't. It's a no.
It's an absolute banger. The classic round trip, the classic hold on till death, hold on to zero and that hope. Dave, you love those. I love those bangers. And I mean, there's been so much, James, also enjoying that stuff. I mean, so much pain and so much chop at the moment. Tell me about this news. Tell me what's going on.
Which bit of news? There's news all day. I've been in the Discord and everyone's like, what happened now? What happened now? We're pumping. Oh, what's the news? Then 2 seconds later, we're dumping. What happened? Go look, go find the news. Every few minutes, just going, I can't keep up today. I'm tired. And
I mean, between the war, there's war news, there's tariff news, there's summit news, there's
there's
jobs,
the Bitcoin reserve total freak out because Donald Trump didn't buy all 21 million Bitcoin yesterday as he signed the reserve, and the whole market just had a shit fit. Well, what the hell? What did you expect? This is hugely bullish and everyone's dumping. Man.
So, look, we did say this is probably going to be a sell the event situation. And here's another one. Who's going through this? Okay, who's going through this? Sharing every trade in the group chat, completely silent during the market crash, and then talking to myself about how I should have taken profits. Now, guys, I mean, we've seen this as well. We've seen this in these choppy conditions. Just remember, we'll get out of it soon. Okay, just hang in there. Let's see what else is coming on. We're going to bring Dave and James back on in a couple of secs. I'm quite excited to hear what they've got for us here. So let's go. So 24-hour trading coming to the Nasdaq, apparently. Okay, so that is now around the corner, and they've gone full crypto bros on everybody here. I mean, fuck me. Now we're going to be tied up on the weekend trading stocks as well. So it's going to get interesting here. Wait, did they say weekend, or are we just doing 24 hours? But they want to expand this thing. So yeah, it's going to be heavy.
24/7. Yeah, but that's not till mid-2026. So we've got some time yet.
We got some time to relax on the weekends if you're not trading shit coins. Okay, so
you've got screen issues again, apparently. All over the chat.
Okay. Oh God. Okay. We'll keep this. We'll keep the screen up, guys. We won't. We'll keep the screen up. Okay. So there's that tweet. Hopefully you guys can see this thing. We'll get to the bottom of the screen issue soon. 𝗙𝘆𝗶𝗴𝗵 letter tells us Trump tariff war 1.0 versus 2.0. Now, the first Trump trade war proved to be exceptional buying opportunity, according to Zero Hedge. So markets are trading on nearly the same exact route right now. So that's quite an interesting tweet. So it's basically just saying we need to get through the current situation. Can you survive? Are you going to have enough dry powder? Because the upside of a Trump tariff war is going to be very good, and it's going to be very bullish for us. So make sure you are saving some dry powder there, guys. Make sure you have some ammo. And Uncle is being exhausting, says Yogan online. And look, he's hurting us here. Look at this. I mean, look at this, battered and bruised here underneath. President Trump says, I'm not even looking at the stock market. Now, obviously he's looking at the stock market, but he's pretending he's not. But he's fucking sending us to zero. I mean, here we go. Okay. I mean, there's absolute carnage out there. And we haven't seen a vertical line like this on the S&P in quite a while. Look at that. It's a thing of absolute beauty. So in terms of horizontals, this is the SPX. So this is not the ES mini futures that I like to trade. This is our S&P. Okay. This is the standard S&P here. And we are looking at 5,650. This is major horizontal support. So moving into a big zone, we've got our daily telling us it's nearly time for a reversal. Uncle Donald, Can you bounce us, please, sir? I mean, that would be lovely. And Martin says he's going nuts here. Love from Brazil. Okay. Martin, what's going on there, bro? So S&P, guys, this is it. This is where we want the bounce. This is 5,650, major horizontal zone. This is where we want the action. Okay. Notable information here. We are pushing below our 200-day moving average. So that is not a good sign. We like the S&P to be trading above the 200-day moving average. Look how long we have been above this thing. Okay, and the last couple of times since March 23, when we have dipped below, okay, in bullish conditions, we have had a couple of days under, but we've had a sharp snapback move. So personally, I'd like to see something along those lines. Now, we don't know what Uncle Donald is going to say next, but if we take into account the last 2 occasions we've lost that 200-day MA, we may see something like this, okay? And Mia says, alts dropping like flies. It feels like we're getting rinsed as we speak, okay? So we're gonna look now. James is nodding his head. Okay, so shorts printing, longs getting rinsed. I mean, it sounds like typical Trump conditions at the moment. Now, this was supposed to be a massive moment for crypto, and this was supposed to be a massive moment for, crypto traders. This was everything we were waiting for, wasn't it? So
it was
huge. So let's play this thing, and let's listen to what's going on, and we're going to talk about this.
Today we're signing, and this is very historic, an executive order establishing a strategic Bitcoin reserve and digital asset stockpile. This is a promise that you made throughout the campaign, and today we're keeping that promise. The reserve will be capitalized with Bitcoin that the federal government already owns, so it won't cost taxpayers a dime. This is like a digital Fort Knox for digital gold. And premature sales of Bitcoin over the past years cost American taxpayers over $17 billion in lost value because we didn't have a long-term strategy.
Right.
Now we do.
This is something you believe in.
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
And the whole community believes.
Very good.
Confirmed.
Comments, right?
Absolutely.
It's a hell of a signature there.
Okay.
There you go. Okay, so that was supposed to be a very big moment. Okay, now why did Bitcoin fall over 7%? Bitcoin falls sharply after President Trump signs the executive order establishing a strategic Bitcoin reserve. No explanation on how the reserve will be funded aside from Bitcoin already held by the US. So the price fell over, and I think, was this a sell the event news? Was it a sell the news? Was it a sell the news event? But I think the market feels this right now. They feel a little bit let down. They basically said Trump is now slapping on the Bitcoin the US already has, and all he's done is give it a new name, because what the guy said now when Trump was signing that order, he said, we're not going to buy new Bitcoin with taxpayer money, which is what everybody thought was going to happen. And now we are looking at a situation where they're going to just keep whatever they forfeited, they're going to hold on to. So Eleanor Terrett explained this well. You can follow her, and she says deeper dive. Okay, so she's saying it's calling for 2 separate things here. The strategic reserve will contain only BTC using the 200,000 tokens they already have. Okay, and then we've got the other is a digital asset stockpile containing assets other than BTC. So it's just a stockpile of shitcoins, presumably XRP, ADA, ETH, and SOL, and potentially others. So the key difference between the reserve and the stockpile is that the government will not actively look for ways to purchase more of the assets in the stockpile. It will only explore using government funds if they can find budget neutral ways to do that on buying BTC. So I think we went from, now I want to remove the screen, but I'm terrified it's not going to come back. But I think we went from thinking the US government was going to start aping into BTC and buying Solana and Cardano and all these other shit coins and start pumping the market, to realizing that, fuck, they actually might not. So, yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a letdown. How are you feeling about
I'm
this?
shocked about the reaction. And I mean, that the administration was up late last night because they obviously saw this total shit fit on Twitter, and they came out late. It was, I don't know, 8, 9 o'clock at night, their time, coming out, giving a clarification on this to say, well, hold on. We're not saying we can't buy any more at all. We just can't use taxpayer dollars, and we've got creative ways we can try and get a hold of it. It's not that we'll never get any more. We just can't use fresh taxpayer dollars for it. So, yeah, they obviously saw the bad reaction and reacted themselves, trying to counteract that.
Yeah, so look, at the moment, it's unclear what the plan is. So when they announce a plan, we know the market loves certainty. When they give you a plan, the market might enjoy that. But right now, people are feeling a little bit upset. I think they're feeling a little bit confused. And now it's all about the crypto summit. So this is now at 1:30 EST. Okay, so coming in hot. And we probably, I mean, Dave was saying just now, something surely is going to come out of this. Something, a couple of bullish comments. Surely give us a weekend pump, maybe. Something fun.
I think so. I mean, the event's happening in an hour and a half. You know, what's the next tweet? I'm sure Nimrod will be all over it. Let me know, sir.
Okay, well, look, we'll see. Something crazy is going to happen. And then we've got Ash Crypto telling us $250 million worth of USDC is now ready to go. So that is sometimes a sign that maybe they want to just do something a little bit fun. When we get a USDT print or a USDC, sometimes we get a little bit of action. So a little bit of bull source there for us, and maybe just get us over the line now this weekend. So this is the big line that we're talking about at the moment. And this is our BTC on the weekly. That is obviously a very important chart for us to pay attention to, because we typically want to close above some certain bullish zones. And if we don't, we're basically just starting this journey to the downside. And for me, the 72 to 70K is really starting to look like a reality for us. And like I was joking earlier this week, by the time we get to that type of regions, I mean, Twitter is going to be so bearish, and we're going to be talking about levels down here. Okay, we're going to be talking about 51K again. So that's around the corner. If BTC starts tapping that region, this is going to start coming into the conversation for a lot of people. And you're going to see this on my show if we start going down there. So something fun to look forward to in case we do start heading to the downside. But in terms of the weekly close, what do we want to see? On the Bitcoin weekly chart, these are the weekly candles, is we just want to see a close above 89,000. If we can get above this 89-90K region, that's probably a step in the right direction. But under the current conditions, personally, I'm not feeling super confident that we've got a big enough catalyst here. And Gino says disgusting, and he's not enjoying the current situation. So guys, we want to get, if we want to be bullish, we need to reclaim key levels. Okay, it's as simple as that. And right now, we are not doing that for BTC. So again, whereas short-term trades, quick in, quick out seems to be the order of the day here. The scalpers in chart hackers are having an absolute fucking ball. These guys are getting 3% moves, and they're slapping P&Ls everywhere. And if that's your thing, you can come and scalp in hackers. We'll definitely keep you entertained, whether you like longs or short. That is going down. I know a whole ton of them were shorting BTC earlier today as well in chart hackers. So there definitely is fun to be had there. And in terms of liquidation, heat map, and just a couple of short-term areas, you can see the downside is looking juicy. They've dealt with a lot on the downside here. So 87K is a nice region for the market makers just to come and tap to the downside. And then if we do get a weekend pump, 91 is starting to look like it makes sense. So 87, let's just refresh that, because we've actually just taken out our 87. Let's just check, let's just look at the refreshed map here. There we go. Okay, we've just cleaned out the liquidity to the downside. So it might be time to actually flip long here on BTC. And you can see our upside is 91K. So that is a nice little zone there for us. So Dave was actually saying we could get a bounce here on this little zone. It's a tiny little 618. Okay, maybe a little bounce there. Okay, let's get into a couple more things. So this is now obviously OM related, but I wanted to relate this to the altcoins for everybody. And what's his name? Langerius. He says, according to Blockchain Center's data, altcoin season begins when 75% of the top 50 currencies outperform Bitcoin over the last 90 days. Okay, so we can see that's clearly not the case. And he says currently only 12 tokens have outperformed BTC. Now, it just so happens that OM is on his list that he's highlighting here as a token. So we're going to talk about that one today, OM. But just an interesting note here on the altcoins. When they are all outperforming, then yes, it's time to start looking at things. And Gino says, folks talking about 62K, anything's possible in crypto. Anything is possible in crypto. And let's see. Vision says, I'm looking for Prime Exchange link. Is that, which one is that? Is that my accelerator course? That you're going to find.
No, I think it's the Prime XBT maybe.
Prime XBT, that's going to be in the show description for you, okay? Otherwise, if you want to trade stocks, you can trade BTCC as well. That is where we're going to trade some stocks and things like that as well. And hackers, we've just added a stonks channel into hackers today. So we're going to start taking a deeper dive into some of those stocks as well. And for those of you that were trading Tesla with me, that has been cut. I had to cut that thing, and we lost our key support level. So we'll pick it up again on Monday, Tuesday, hopefully when this market starts getting itself together. So guys, in terms of Prime, well, you can sign up to the accelerator course. That covers obviously things like our oscillators and things like that. That is in the show description there for you guys. Okay, let's talk altcoins. So importantly, what do we watch? USDT dominance. That's always an important factor here for us when we're watching this for the market in general. And you can see, as long as we are rejecting and printing lower highs here, we should be okay. Okay, that's a little bit of bull source there. And you can look at this directly into the Bitcoin daily chart. You can see the Bitcoin daily is printing higher lows, and you've got the USDT dominance printing lower highs. So technically they are, they are together, and they're singing from the same hymn sheet here. So as long as this one is pushing lower, we are good. And then in terms of dominance, if you're wondering why these alts haven't been completely rinsed, okay, now I know some of you are watching very low time frames, but you can see we've got a dominance rejection in place, 61%, and right now we're playing ping pong in a tight little range. Look at that. So it's been a little bit slow out there the last while. Other than obviously that little bit of a dumpage last night, but I think there was a market, the market as a whole started dropping. But in terms of dominance, look, for altcoin traders, as long as we're holding the 61.6 as resistance, we just want to see this thing gradually move down for us, and we'll deal with it down there. But that should open up some kind of weekend pump for us if we do hold this rejection. A deal wants to send us down. Okay, he's feeling super bearish, must be sitting in a couple of shorts there at the moment. Okay, and then guys, our altcoins, again, we cannot turn super bullish just yet. We are still faced with a major resistance band. This is our total 3 chart on the daily that we're watching. And until we reclaim 850 billion, we need to be a little bit conservative with whatever we're doing. Okay, so especially with our altcoins there, that is in a bearish territory for us. We under our descending trend. We are below our horizontals. So a little bit bearish until we reclaim that 850 billion. Now, unfortunately, that obviously puts pressure on things like my ETH trade that I'm sitting in at the moment. So Ivan on Tech, I really lolled at this one earlier today. He says, if Vitalik mentions woke shit or communism to Trump on Friday during the crypto summit, it's over for ETH. And he says, I hope he gets a suit, as Trump sees everyone without a suit as a bit of a hobo. And we saw he doesn't like people that pitch up without wearing a suit. So hopefully Vitalik's going to have his suit on. But in terms of whales, they bought 1.10 million ETH. No. In the last 24 hours. No, surely not. Maybe it's $1 million worth of ETH in the last 24 hours. But what we do know is these guys keep accumulating, and we know it's all the big groups as well are getting absolutely stuck into ETH. So when ETH pump, well, maybe never. Okay, so we're going to talk about some of these levels now, but Ali charts highlighting for us why the 2,400 region is a very big resistance. And I want to show you that in conjunction with the ETH chart, just so you guys can see that 2,400 is a big zone. We've got Ali charts talking about that region as resistance, and you can see on our chart here, this daily is massive resistance. So 2,400 is really essentially your next ETH rejection zone, your next ETH target if this thing does move. Now, I'm still sitting long ETH at the moment on WEX. This position is now $62,000 in size. Let's see. We're still holding on to the fact that ETH might start actually getting a personality and maybe start waking up a little bit for us. So we're relying on this big horizontal zone tied in with our 618. So anything down to about 2,000 is an interesting zone. Okay, we're looking for that type of push up to 2,400. But the question remains is, what happens if ETH actually loses this weekend? Well, number one, I think that's going to start a long journey to 1,500, 1,600. Now, that is most likely going to tie in with BTC pushing much lower levels there to the downside. So that is definitely something we're going to be watching. But I think ultimately the next big swing long that you'd be looking for, if it's not yet this 2,000 zone, for me, it's really starting to smell like 1.5 to 1.6. Is where we need to be. And yes, Joe Powell is also talking today. Guys, another market mover coming out this afternoon.
24 minutes.
24 minutes pump it or dump it. I mean,
and then an hour later, the summit. Just a busy day.
Woo, it's a busy day out there, guys. Okay, let's see what's going on. And Sol under pressure. Okay, we've got a couple of setups here for you. Now, remember, I want to remove the screen again. It's obviously very important. So remember, what we like to specialize in, especially at Hackers, and if you guys have been watching my show long enough, what we love. Okay, we love the reversal setups. Okay, so if the market's already falling over, this is where we kick back and we wait for it to come into our basket, hit our entry zones, and we trade those bounces in hot zones. Okay, that's what we love to do. And when the market is pumping, then we look for the sell in the hot zones, in those big rejection zones. Okay, so if the market is turning red now, okay, just chill. Okay, we're going to cover a couple of levels here, and we're going to see the extent of the wreckage. Okay, so let me know if you guys are having trouble seeing my screen. Hopefully it's there magically. So let's start with Sol. So we've had an interesting situation. Now, we had the bad news last night. The market obviously sold off very hard. We had a 786 bounce. Just note this, everybody. When the market is falling over, you pull out your macro fibs, you pull out your big fib moves. Look at that, low to the highs. You get out of 618, you get out of 786, and you look for action in those types of zones when the market really is dumping. And that's a nice little 786 play there on Sol. But now, in terms of bullish zones, if we get, let's say we're getting a sell-off now into the summit, okay, that could potentially give us some kind of bullish entry for a short-term bounce. Let's say we're getting a sell-off into Joe Powell talking. This could give us some kind of bullish bounce potentially. So what you want to look for then as a bull are reaction zones. So number one, I've got 139 for you. That's starting to look interesting. Look at that. We've got tie in here, nice levels, nice horizontals. This could be a zone of interest. So let's look at 139 for a potential Sol bounce from that type of region. That makes sense, okay? A little bit lower down, 135. That's going to be a fill of our dump from last night. So that is also relatively reasonable there for us. And then if we are going to really put pressure now later on today, we're going to call this thing a typical range play. So we're going to look at that type of move for us. So right now you can see that dip to the lows isn't confirmed, and we've got our lower high in play. So we might very well have that type of situation here start playing out on Sol. So I want to give you guys 3 zones of interest, and these are the ones you attack. If you are a degen trader on the lower time frames, these are your levels: 139, 135, 131. Those are all reaction zones that will give you, or should give you, something out of the market there. Okay, provided there's nothing too obsessively bearish coming out of Trump's mouth or Joe Powell. So 139, 135, 131. Those are my reaction zones that I like. And then all you need to do is you marry that into your oscillator reversals. Okay, you keep it super simple. You look for tie-in on lower time frames where our oscillators are printing these reversals, and when you're seeing that on the 15 minutes or the 30 or whatever time frame you're tracking, if you get that on these levels, then the balance of probabilities, it starts leaning in your favor for some kind of bounce out of the market. Okay, so 139, 135, 131, try and tie it in with some kind of divergence here or some kind of reversal on this oscillator. So you're just going to look for something like that to start playing out for us, potentially some divergence there if we do print a lower low there on Sol. Okay, so that's your game plan. Can't go up forever, says Carlos. Oh, but do we call this going up, bro? Because it feels like it's been straight down since, I don't know, since January. We've been getting rinsed here in the markets. And we don't have that. John, my bro, come here, join the accelerator course. I'm going to teach you about this. This is what it's all about. So in this course, you're going to learn very short, concise videos on how we do the TA and how we marry it into these types of oscillators and all these indicators that I've got in the course. So all you need to do is just go to the show description, sign up, do the course. Okay, it's very simple and concise, and then you're going to be trading. You're going to be trading very quickly with us. So everything that I'm talking about today, guys, is sitting in the show description. Just go under the show; it's all there, including our chart hackers. Okay, we're going to talk about some hackers just now as well, but everything is here for you guys. There's the accelerator course at the top of the menu. Everything is sitting in that show description there for you guys. Okay, let's talk a couple of things. Let's see the level of rinsage here at the moment. Okay, we're trading some L-Bank at the moment, and Sol getting rinsed. 𝗬𝗰, I've started a new 𝗬𝗰 position. We're going to talk about that one now. We might get a bounce there on 𝗬𝗰, and then we've got Link from earlier. 𝗂𝘅 actually dropped a really nice Link short earlier today in our Zoom session. This was 𝗂𝘅's short. 𝗂𝘅, are you here? Are you in the chat? So that's a nice little banger there. That's starting to actually print a little bit of money there to the downside. So AVAX and Link short at the moment, and then Sol and 𝗬𝗰 are long that I'm looking at here at the moment on LBank. So let's talk about 𝗬𝗰. Why is this interesting? So keeping it really simple. Okay, so 𝗬𝗰 has been super bullish over the last 24 hours. There was an announcement with World Liberty. What's it? World Liberty Financial or World Liberty Finance. They were partnering with 𝗬𝗰 or buying tons of 𝗬𝗰, one of those things. Anyway, we had a beautiful pump. Last night they killed us. Then the market jumped back into 𝗬𝗰 today. And notable every single time, our resistance band, the 200-day MA coming into play here. Look at that. Big zone here for us at 𝗬𝗰. So we know this is 2.87. Big resistance band here for us at the moment on 𝗬𝗰. So what am I looking at now? So look, a little bit of a sneaky play. We've dropped into trend 786. We've got a little bit of horizontals in this region as well. So we're basically relying on Bitcoin bouncing on or about the current zone that it's on. And that should give us a little continuation play here on 𝗬𝗰. So maybe we'll get that higher low here and then we get some kind of bounce. So in terms of the trade that I'm looking at right now for 𝗬𝗰, the stop for me is sitting at 2.6. Okay, so let's just highlight that. And that is just there. Okay, so the reason I put it there is that's going to be a loss of my 786 and trend. So that's probably going to be some kind of candle close under the zone. Okay, and then you most likely start turning bearish again and this thing starts dipping a little bit lower. Okay, so possible 𝗬𝗰 play here, 2.66 down to 2.62. You can even buy that thing and look for a bounce there on 𝗬𝗰. If it does get momentum now into the summit, be careful. 2.84, that's your zone. Just be careful up there, and you could get about a 6-7%. Then anything happens above that region, but I'd say just be careful at this 2.84, 2.85. Probably a little bit of trouble there to the upside. Okay. Then let's talk Link. Now, this was an absolute banger, and I was saying to Chaos, I really wanted a little bit higher, but he had quite a lot of conviction on Link falling over on the 4-hour, and one of the reasons that he liked this thing was we had some bearish divergence here on our oscillator talking to us at quite a big region here. That's quite a big horizontal in the way, and that is why that started going ahead. Okay, so Link looking bearish under this region. I know Dave looked at this one earlier as well, and what did you see there, Dave? You also had you had some confluence there.
Yeah, no, that was actually a short setup I was talking about, the double top there on the horizontal, and there's also a point of control that we're starting to lose.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, you can see that is a bit of a bearish zone. So I just wanted to have a strategy, you know, let's say something bullish happens and the market does take off. We need to understand, like, where are we mentally with this market? So for me, I'm like, I need a much bigger catalyst to really turn super bullish on the market. So for me, I'm feeling like any pumps they give us, even if it's 6% or 10%, we need to look to try and sell these things in certain zones. So I just want to prep a little bit higher just in case there is some random pump out of the market, but obviously knowing that this thing's pretty bearish. I mean, that 4-hour looks pretty shitty there. That looks like it really wants to move lower on Link, but what do we do if this thing rips a bit higher? So I just want to give you guys two more zones of interest. Okay, there's two big areas here, because remember, the weekend is long. Okay, and a weekend can involve lots of pumping and lots of dumping, and you need to know where your zones are. Where can you get a little bit of action? So in terms of a short zone here, guys, for Link, you can see we've got 18.6. Look at that wick fill over there. Look at our 618. So for me, if we pump higher, that's a rejection zone. Okay, 18.6. Danger zone, and then I've got a big danger zone here for Link traders at 20. Look at that 50-day moving average. We've got a VWAP just below. We've got tons of horizontal in that area, and then I've also got tons. I mean, this is a war zone here, bro, of order blocks in this area. Okay, so looking like a danger zone up there for Link. So guys, remember, if this Link chart pumps, look out. 18.6. Don't get too euphoric. 19.8 to 20. Don't get too euphoric in those types of regions. Just keep it balanced, and you're either TPing there or you're looking for potential reversals. And in terms of this 4-hour oscillator, if we do get a quick pump out of Link, I think it's very shortable in one of those zones again. Okay, so just look out for that, guys. And yeah, I'm not feeling super bullish. And Tindo says if Link is bearish, most alts are going to follow. I mean, that's a good point. Okay, I've got a couple more outs for you, but I think we need to give Dave the stage here. Give us something fun, bro. Something exciting.
Yeah, I figured I'd give you guys both a long and a short here. And I'll go over the long setup here first. So just my view on the shorter time frames with Bitcoin, right? This was that 618 that I had spoken to Dylan about here, right? So essentially the Asia Open took us all the way down, and for Asia to do that first, to me, was almost like they wanted to take all the early longs out in anticipation for what's happening here today. But obviously we're banging against this 90K resistance. But look at this 618 retracement, right? So I've got this fib pull here, 618, and we're also piercing the Keltner channels on the 15-minute time frame. So I'd really like to see us kind of come back inside to the middle of the Keltner channels. And so with that being said, one token that stood out to me during all of this was HYPE. So I have been tracking HYPE for quite some time. We nailed the short. So I talked about the short once we lost this trend here in the Chart Hacker private Zoom sessions, lost the trend, had the back test, and here we are coming down. And I wanted to see the reaction at a potential bottom here for HYPE. So one thing that I have tracked here is this potential SR flip with HYPE, right? So you guys can see here back in December, early December, we were facing at this level as resistance, and then we had this massive pump. And here we are again. We wicked right into that same spot, and we're essentially bouncing strongly, right? So I saw earlier that HYPE was like up 5%. Obviously, with the market games right now, it's down like 1.5% here today. But on the oscillator, on the 4-hour time frame, we have a bullish divergence with a blue reversal dot. If you go to the 6-hour, we have two hidden bullish divergences with two blue reversal dots, and the 8-hour time frame giving us a bullish divergence, the 10-hour giving us a bullish divergence, right? So there's a lot of things here, even the 12-hour, that's kind of telling me that this could be, the bottom could be very near here with HYPE, okay? And even though that this is in a bearish kind of pattern, we could still be bearish and see this move up to this order block here at around $18, okay? So the risk to reward that I'm seeing in the short term with HYPE, okay, and this could just be a shorter time frame trade setup, is bouncing all the way up here, 20% move. If we can break out of this trend, okay, and consolidate, then I'm looking for higher targets. But I'm gonna kind of go over just the shorter time frame setup here. If you zoom in here, right, I've got a fib pulled from the low to the current high, and we are essentially passing up the hacker zone, but we have the 786 here right around $15. Okay, so I've started a small position here on HYPE. If we start to see price action kind of come into this region in this horizontal, I'm going to add to my position and looking for that 20% move. Okay, so I would say you could set a super tight stop. This loss of horizontal, if anything, maybe at 14.5, 4-hour candle close below 14.5, I would say it's a valid invalidation. So yeah, that's HYPE. I think it's I think there's a move coming for HYPE. And yeah, I did take that ENA trade. So that's one of the things that I'm kind of highlighting here with HYPE, is that whenever we had this sell-off, ENA was kind of holding itself during the dump and then kind of rocketed afterwards, right? So I'm kind of looking for the same thing with HYPE. As far as a short setup goes, or a hedge short, I think SQD is a decent one here. So again, like I said, I'm going to give you guys a long and a short. SQD, we have a 4-hour bearish divergence here. And you can see that there's a lot of resistance here at the point of control. So I've got a fixed range pull here with SQD. We have this point of control, and every time we try to stick our necks above it, we come down, right? We're trying to break above it. We're coming down. We're coming down. So again, if I zoom in here, you guys can see that we have this downwards trend. We have this anchored VWAP point of control. So there's just a lot of things here telling me that this is a decent head short setup here. And I'm looking for us to simply just take it down to this bullish order block here. So there's a potential 20% move here with SQD. And the invalidation for this setup is very simple. If we start to break the trend, get out, right? So I would say set a super, I mean, this is a very decent entry now. I would say you could set a super tight stop, maybe a 4% stop here at 0.084. If you see price action do one of these deals and it's a 4-hour candle close, then get out of the position here. But as long as we stay in this downwards trend here, I think this short is a decent hedge short setup. So
okay, nice, bro. And what's your exit on hype? I want to take this long quickly on 𝗏𝗏𝗃 here. What's your exit? What's your stop loss there?
yeah, so this is kind of a swing long type of deal here in the shorter time frames, but I think the stop loss should be below this wick here. So this wick that occurred
14.6 somewhere there, right?
Yeah, 14.6 I think is a fair.
Okay, so let's go 14.6. Okay, and then we'll get one more buy-in on the way down. So if we do start bleeding a little bit more, we're going to get another buy-in around about, say, 14.9, somewhere there. I'll look to grab a little bit more of this hype. And then we've got a hard stop here. I've made this on isolated. Guys, you can do this on 𝗏𝗏𝗃. You can have cross or you can have isolated. So I've chosen isolated on this one for hype. So if it does start pumping, we'll add a bit more. If it drops lower, I'm going to buy some more, about 14.9. And I've got a hard stop there preset. You can see it on your screen on 𝗏𝗏𝗃 here. Okay, so nice, bro. Okay, so you got a mix there, longs and shorts. Yeah, that SQ, where do you trade that SQ? I couldn't see it on 𝗏𝗏𝗃. Where are you trading that one?
Yeah, 𝗏𝗃𝗍𝗍 should be on 𝗬x there, and also MEXC.
Okay, so 𝗬x. Okay, so you can trade that one on 𝗬x, guys. Okay, so remember, both these exchanges are in the show description. They no KYC, and they're throwing tons of money at you for trying to, sign up to one of these exchanges. 𝗏𝗏𝗃 is actually giving you guys 50% cash back. So if you put in $500, they're giving you $250 to trade with. Okay, if you're putting in 1,000, they're giving you $500 trading bonus here on 𝗏𝗏𝗃. Okay, there's 2 days left for this event. Okay, so take a look if you want to go. There's a link in the show description there for you guys. Okay, let's talk a couple of entries for the weekend. And there's a couple of ways you can play this. So it depends how dirty and filthy this market is going to get now this weekend. So remember, we have no idea what Trump's going to say. We have no idea what's going to come out of this crypto summit. Okay, so we need to be able to be reactive in both directions. So what you need to have always is some kind of plan of action in case the market pumps and a plan if the market dumps. Okay, so you don't want a situation where you don't have a plan, you hear news, you turn on your screen and you're actually doing guesswork. So what I typically like to do is plan a few key areas and then we react accordingly based on the information we have. So the first one I've got for you is near, and I want to give you two big zones here where you can look for some kind of action. So your first level on near this weekend is going to be that type of region, just under 2.9. That's going to be a fill. That's going to be the horizontals there for us, and that's going to be our 0.5 coming into play. So that is your first area. I'm watching the 30 minutes. You can see what's happening here. My oscillator is printing a reversal. So we just want to let this thing settle down, maybe some kind of divergence here. But I think we're getting pretty close to even a short-term reaction here on near. So watch, 2.91 down to 2.86. That's your degen zone. Now, if the market, let's say the market bounces, but then it reverses again this weekend. Where's your next zone? Look at that. 2.8 is your next one. That's a 618. I've got order blocks. I've got horizontals here for you guys in that region. So that's going to be 2.8 for you on near. So these are the degen zones for this weekend. Okay, so degen trades, remember, we've got a descending trend. And if you catch one of these zones and you get a bounce, well, once we start breaking trend, things can turn super bullish later on. And that puts you in the pound seats and you can start adding to these positions. And then your average entry is going to be quite low. It's always going to be below that trend break. So that is why I like to hunt these areas. And these make the most sense to me on near. Okay, and remember, all these charts go straight into Chart Hackers directly after the show. You're going to find them there. Then another one for you guys, AVAX. Okay, so we've actually just hit the zone. This is it. Okay, so AVAX just hit the 786 and 618 zone that we highlighted earlier today. Okay, so that makes sense to close that short now, and I think we're good in this zone. We're looking for a bounce now. So for me, AVAX 19.97 is going to be your support, and there's a potential long play here or potential short-term bounce here that we want to look at now on AVAX. Let's take a look at this trend. Same story here. You can see there's a descending trend, so we don't want to get too bullish. Yeah, we're looking for a short-term bounce on AVAX. It could just be something like that before it starts reversing. If it blows this trend, then we're hunting a two big zones to the upside. So just to confirm, potential bounce here on AVAX, 20.2 down to 19.97. You can see this is our trend. This is our 786 coming into play. Then in terms of where can you short this, in terms of where do you TP, where does this thing reject? Well, your first zone is going to be a revisit to VWAP and this trend. I mean, a VWAP and your 𝗬𝗍𝗋𝗆s to the upside. So we're going to just put a box around this one for you guys. So you just want to see that zone there. So that's a danger zone there. That's a potential rejection area there on AVAX. So look out for that. If the market does pump now, that's a danger zone for you. 21, watch out. And then your next zone is going to be 21.4. You can see that's a big one for me. That's your 786 resistance. That's your quantum reactor. That's your horizontals. There's another 𝗬𝗍𝗋 up there. So we know that is a big danger zone now for AVAX in terms of where we are right now. And then in terms of order blocks, look at that. There's a big zone there just ahead. Okay, you can see the upside. A bit of a problem there to the upside. Okay, so look out in that region there. Then if the market falls over even further, what do? So very simple. You can see you've got a rising trend in play. Now, what typically happens if the market falls over? What typically happens is you lose the trend. You most likely bounce at your next reaction zone, and then you end up in a bearish situation where it might pump higher, and then you get that rejection, and that sends it down. So that bounce there gives you a long play, and that rejection gives you a short opportunity. So make sure you have your game plan all the time, okay? And let's just make sure we can make this nice and neat for you guys. And I'm going to put this in Chart Hackers for you, so this information will be there. So bearish option is we lose trend, we probably bounce, okay? Then you're looking for that play, okay? And now bullish option right now is we pump. You can see it's moving up there, and we're either going to reject somewhere in that type of region, or your next zone is going to be this guy here at 21, and that is your danger zone there to the upside. Okay, so you've now got a mapped out plan here on the market, and those are the areas you're going to be watching. Let's see, is our 𝗬𝗰 actually doing anything here? Okay, it's still flat, 𝗬𝗰, but 𝗬𝗰's, look, we're having a go on 𝗬𝗰, okay? We're looking for 𝗬𝗰 to give us a bounce there as well, okay? Link's still doing nothing. Okay, another entry zone for you guys. So you've got near, here's Ondo. Now, this one also fell over hard, and today, if you look at it relative to 𝗬𝗰, it's really responded very badly. So a little bit of a letdown, this Ondo at the moment. So I wouldn't rush into a new long here, but there could be something coming at the 786. Okay, so this is going to be catering for quite big downside then on the market. So then some of the longs we're looking at now, like AVAX and whatever, might actually reverse a little bit more. But in terms of Ondo, you can see we've lost a key support. Okay, so that is, that's a little bit of a concern for me. We've lost the support now. We've got to see where this candle is going to close on the 1 hour. But if this 1 hour candle closes under this 99 to $1 region, if we close under that, you probably have a bearish journey down to 93 now on Ondo that you're going to be looking at. So Ondo traders, just be patient. That's kind of where you put your alarms on. 94, 93, get your alarms on there. That could be a bounce. And then obviously, if we fall over here, that I'm pretty sure the bulls are going to step in there. Okay, I mean, that's quite a banger there at 86. Okay, and is our hype long printing? Okay, that's good to know. That's nice. Okay. Okay, well, good timing there. Good timing there on the market. Okay, good. Okay, AVAX going green as well. Let's go.
Yeah, we're bouncing off that Keltner channel. 618. Let's just see a little bit more follow through.
I want to take a degen long here on Fartcoin, but this will be the second or third one off the zone. So I'm a little bit nervous about this one. Fartcoin's been very responsive to VWAPs. We've noticed it really enjoys it. Okay, so you can see right now we've got VWAP resistance. This is Fartcoin for any degens out there. Remember, if you're shorting Fartcoin, it's a short. Okay, if you're longing Fartcoin, you're just trading farts with your buddies. We might get a reversal here. Shall we trade some farts here?
Third time's a charm. Let's do it.
Let's trade some farts here, guys. Let's trade some farts here. Okay, so the thing with these AI agents is you got to go small position. Okay, you go small position, big move. Okay, that's what you want to do. So you never ape in, because if these things roll over, they can put you under pressure. Okay, so you go small position, big move. Okay, and then you look for these reactions in these zones. So let's go back to FART. Okay, let's see if we can get this thing. So this is the last ditch zone. You can see what's going on here. This is our 618. So what happened was we had that beautiful sell-off. Hackers got this level from me yesterday. In fact, you guys got this level. On my show, and I gave this. I'm pretty sure I gave this level to you. This wasn't yesterday. There it is, okay? Looking for a reversal there, 2667. Okay, that's what we were looking for on Fartcoin. If you were watching the show yesterday, let's see, what did it hit? Look at that, 2667. Okay, nice little rocket ship. And yeah, there were 2 moves off that. Okay, so that's why I'm saying to you guys, this is it's our 3rd time. You know, this might be the rinse. Okay, so just be careful in terms of fart, but double bounce. Okay, we can take 2 off that zone. This is the plan. Okay, so looking for a reversal now in this type of region. If this fails, your exit plan is 2612. Okay, so if you close under 2612, your next long zone, realistically, now then you sit back and you wait. Okay, you don't just be patient with this thing. Your next long zone, okay, is going to be about 244 is what you're watching, and you're not going to get too aggressive with it. You can see these pumps are very short-lived on Fartcoin. They're big, but they're short-lived. Okay, so you're not going to get that aggressive. So if this existing long doesn't work, so if we don't get this little pop here, that's going to be your next zone, guys. So just be patient, and you're going to trade this thing. You're not going to go high. Okay, you're going to go like 9%. Okay, you're going to keep it. You're going to keep it very civilized here. If this thing takes off here, you're going to go 10% at best. Okay, so small little moves there. And MySpace says Powell is talking. God, please can you pump the market here for us? Okay, so there's some Fartcoin for the weekend, guys. These are your 2 levels that you got. JP rocks the house again. Is there anything bullish coming out of his mouth here, James? Is there anything fun happening?
I don't know, but I know David Sachs was just on Bloomberg, and he was questioned about why Trump had mentioned ADA, Sol, XRP, and everything. If the government doesn't have any, he said, well, he just mentioned them because they're in the top 5. So those things are not doing so well at the moment on that news.
He just mentioned it because it was in the top 5.
Right. Saying, so why would he mention it if you guys don't own any? He's like, well, we don't know what the government has. We're still trying to get a tally on what inventory we have, but it was just because they're the top 5. That's why he mentioned it.
Oh my fuck.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a nice little excuse.
Yeah. XRP's dumping, ADA's dumping.
Really? Oh
yes,
my god,
sir.
That's hilarious. Okay, let's look at XRP, guys. Let's get XRP. Well, there's the Dixie. Let's look at XRP quickly. Let's see if we got some action here for XRP traders. Let's see what we got. Okay, let's get a fresh chart here. Let's go low time frame so we can see the effects. I can't believe what you're telling me. It's okay. It's not that bad, but yeah, it is definitely a sell-off. Yeah.
Not yet. But that was some bad preemptive news to this conference. Going okay, everybody was going, well, you know what? There's going to be a savior at the conference. They're going to talk about how they're buying these things, and based on what Sachs just said there, that's not looking so good.
Look, okay, you never know. I mean, XRP and ADA, I mean, I think the haters would love that information. Actually, they would really enjoy that.
Well, why bring all the CEOs from all of these tokens that were mentioned to this summit to then just have the thing dumped? Doesn't make a lot of sense, but not much does anymore.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Let's get out there. We've got our blocks there. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so yeah, short-term XRP, like it hasn't been an absolute shit show, but you can see it's under pressure here at the moment. What I would suggest, guys, you can see we've got a wick fill down here. It's not great. Okay, it's not amazing what we're looking at. Okay, so you got some interesting levels there. I would say you're going to watch this wick fill to the downside. That's going to be your big zone there. Okay, that's interesting to me on XRP. So anything down to say 2.32 is probably okay for some kind of bounce. You can see you might get a reversal quite soon here. So if there is a little bit more pain on XRP, just keep an eye on these oscillators. You might get that reversal there. Anything down to 2.32 could work. And then just backup zone. Make sure you always have your next level. Okay, look at that dump there. 2.21. You want to always understand where your reaction zones are. Okay, so if the things are falling over, you don't just need one level. You always need a plan B. Okay, so always have a plan B and C ready to go so you can react accordingly when the market doesn't do exactly what you want it to do. Okay, Dave, what are you doing this weekend, bro? Oh, we got an announcement. We've got an announcement for hackers.
Yes, so yeah, there's quite a bit of things moving on here. I've got a session here in about 24 minutes with the chart hackers, but this Sunday we've got a special treat for all of you guys.
I'm opening this. Tell us more. Tell us more.
Yes, about Sunday. You want me to say?
Well, yeah. I mean, on Sunday, guys, we're going to open up we're going to open up our private session that we do on a Sunday. Okay. The only way you're going to get access to this thing is if you are following the Chart Hackers account. So at the Chart Hackers. Okay, make sure you're following at the Chart Hackers around about Saturday, Sunday, and your notifications are on. Okay, and you're going to, for a few minutes, you're going to get a link is going to be flashed there for you guys. And those of you paying attention are going to get that link, and you're going to get access to our Sunday night session. So you're probably going to see me on a show on Sunday night. And after that show, we do our Sunday banger where we tee up the week. And we're going to let you guys have a sneak peek into that. And you'll experience, what we do typically on a Sunday in Hackers. And I just want to show you guys what Syed's saying. Dill, we need another shirt with this printed no liquidity. That's also a banger. These guys, I got tons of shirts here. They're coming in hot for you guys. Okay. Then just to show you Hackers, we've just opened our stonk signals. Okay, there. This is our stonk channel. We opened this up today. There it is. So okay, we're ready to go. We're gonna drop some stocks and things like that in there. Remember, we're trading stocks using BTCC. Okay, so there it is. You want to trade stocks, you send crypto, and then you can trade Google, Tesla, the S&P, all these things. Okay, so sign up here. Make sure you signed up on this link so you can join us there in Hackers, and we're going to trade some stocks. Okay, cool. What time on Sunday? So what time is it EST, Dave?
Eastern Standard Time is going to be at 2 o'clock or 2 Eastern. For those of you guys that are Central Standard Time, which is my time, it's 1 p.m. And then for those of you guys that are in Cali, West Coast, that's going to be 11 a.m. So it's a good time for everyone here in the States.
Okay, so guys, be ready. It's a little bit more less intensity, and we really drill down into shit. Okay, there's a lot of education, there's tons of setups, and we try and tee up. We'll probably cover 10 to 15 charts on a Sunday night. Look at loads of scenarios, loads of setups for you guys. So definitely always an exciting event on a Sunday. Boys, thanks for hanging. Going to be a wild 24 hours here.
Yeah, a few hours alone is going to be a lot of fun. Get your undies out.
Oh, God. Okay, Sunday's going to be a banger, though. Okay, boys, see you later. James, see you later. Dave, see you later. Okay, guys, again, Wild West out there in terms of price action. Just be safe, okay? What we do know factually is that this shit comes to an end and the rippage starts again. So make sure your job is to preserve capital. Make sure you have dry powder ready for when the time is right. Right now, it's chop city. If you want to scalp and you want to short and long and do 2%, 3% moves all the time, come to Hackers. We'll look after you there. Okay, we've got a team in there specializing in that stuff. If you want swing trades, well, you know what to do. You're just going to be a little bit more patient. It's coming. Okay, it's coming. Okay, hang in there, guys. Big weekend again. I mean, is Trump going to wreck our weekend? Fuck. Okay, we'll see you guys later.